Hey guys, doing something a little bit different for this video, very impromptu video. I usually don't do pickups videos, and I usually don't cover things as modern as I'm going to talk about today. This is hardly even obsolete, let alone ancient. But the subject of this machine kind of came up in my comment section on one of my videos, and I was talking to some commenters about it, and I got a suggestion, maybe do a video on it. And it's not my usual thing, but I figure, what the heck, it gives me something to put out this week anyways, since I don't really have a video quite ready yet. I also kind of wanted to do a channel update video. And I don't really like doing those. I mean, I do like doing those, but I think they kind of break the flow of the channel. But this gives me an opportunity. I think I'll do a little channel update at the end of this video. So if you don't care about this computer, you just want to go to the channel update, just kind of skip a little bit down the road near the end. Oh, there's the cat. So anyways, hence from the title of the video, this is my $5 i7 find. Now, I find a lot of cool things in the wild, so stuff not on forums or eBay or whatnot, and usually it's swap meets, bigger swap meets, and actually I have a lot of good luck with like thrift stores and Craigslist and OfferUp and things like that, but very rarely actually do I find things at yard sales. And this is something I found at a yard sale, and this is my $5 i7. It's not first gen either. It's not quite the newest, but it's I don't know. I'm not real familiar with the newer like Intel line of CPUs. So maybe it's like third gen. We'll take a look at it. I don't quite remember. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, I've been pretty lucky. I've found some pretty cool things for pretty cheap prices in the past before. I found a boxed Macintosh Voodoo 5500 once for I think $3. I found a Mac SE with the high density floppy drive in it for I think $7 or $5 once. I found a complete boxed Tandy 1000 with a monitor and an external 720K floppy drive once for like $15, immaculate condition. So I've had some pretty decent scores, and this isn't the best because, you know, it's not old and rare or anything, but it's still a pretty good score, and I think it deserves a story. So anyways, story behind this thing. I don't want to rattle on too long because I know some people don't like static images. If you ever wonder in some of my videos why I move my hand around a lot, and I get a lot of flack for slapping computers, I always just get the impression that people have such short attention spans that if I just have a static image and I'm just talking, people's attentions will like trail off and they'll just go away. But that's if you're ever wondering why I move around hands and stuff a lot, that's why I do it. And I'm way too lazy to make like a bunch of editing cuts and stuff. So anyways, to the story of this machine. Anyways, I was doing yard sales as usual. Terrible not finding anything. I think I had like $20 in my pocket. I hadn't found anything, and I pulled up to this yard sale, and there's this beast of a machine just sitting there. So it's like kind of my interests were kind of piqued. So I went over and I took a look inside, and I was like, it's kind of new. So I was kind of expecting $50 to $100. Of course, I wasn't going to pay that. Like I said, I think I had $20 in my pocket. So I look over at the guy and I was like, well, how much for the computer? And quite to my surprise, he said $5. Now, keep in mind, there was no video card in the machine, but I mean, you could see that it had the heat sink. There's probably a CPU. It had RAM in it. It was a newer board. I mean, the case alone, I'm sure, is worth more than $5. So yeah, to my surprise, he said $5. So I went over. I gave him the $5 bill, and as I was walking away, I don't know if it was his friend that was there or his brother or someone, but the guy kind of like gave him a weird look and came over and started talking to him. Maybe like, "What the hell are you doing? That thing's worth way more than $5." So of course I'm like, walking quickly but as gracefully as I can to the car to get out of there before he maybe changes his mind and maybe tries to go back on the deal and start a scene or something. So yeah, I take off, and it is a I got it home and I looked inside it, and it is it's an i7, and Now it didn't power up. And now we'll go over, I don't want to give away because there's the guy's name and an email address on there. But there's like a service sticker here on the side, and you probably can't read it because of the bad lighting, but it says custom build PC not powering. And then there's like a computer repair place. So apparently this was at a repair shop at some point, and you could tell this was someone's baby. I mean, someone loved this machine and took care of it, and they cared enough to actually take it to what seems like a repair shop. And I don't know what happened at that point, because when I got it home and plugged it in, it still didn't power on. But I was like, could it be that simple? So I didn't really have any like high wattage extra power supply. So I did go to Best Buy and I picked up a 600 or 620 watt. So I guess in a way you could say I have $65 into this, but I kind of could use that power supply anyways. So I could have used it in another build. So I don't really consider that specifically for this machine. But anyways, yeah, I put in the new power supply, and not really to my surprise, it powered up, and I got into the BIOS. I don't even think they call them BIOSes anymore. I don't remember what they call them these days, but yeah, and it works. And since then, I threw in a graphics card. I had an extra GTX 960, and I think at some point I threw in a small hard drive and an OS, but I haven't really played around with this thing, and that's mostly because it has a water cooler in it, and I have no experience with water coolers, and I'm just afraid to use it because I don't know if it's like running correctly, so I only use it in like short bursts. And yeah, I'm just too cheap and lazy to go buy a socket 211 just regular heat-sinking fan. That's what's in there. It's socket 211, so that's not like the first gen of i7s, but yeah, so that's that's basically the story for my $5 i7 build. But actually, I'm gonna open it up, and I'm even gonna power it up briefly and just show you guys that it works, or at least I think it still works. I actually haven't messed with it for a few months now. So yeah, let's take a look inside of this thing. All right, so hopefully the lighting isn't too horrible here, but let's take a quick look on the back of this thing. Yeah, you can tell right away it's not a super old machine. It's got USB 3.0. It's pretty nice. That is just the GTX 960 I put in it. Now this is arguably more powerful than my current main computer. I don't have the super high-tech fastest PC. It's not bad though. I think it's like 18 gigs of DDR3. It's an AMD build, so I mean it gobbles up tons of power. It's like an 8-core 4 gigahertz something. I can't remember, 8550 or something like that. FM2 maybe is the motherboard. It's decent. It gets the job done. It plays pretty much any game I throw at it at 1080p. I got a GTX 970 in that, which I got for a good deal after I'd already bought this. So I figured out I'll just keep this, you know, and so I threw it in this machine. So let's open it up and take a look inside. Okay, so here's inside. This case is so heavy and just like massive. I mean, still, I haven't really cleaned it completely, but I mean, look at the big bands. Like I think someone bought this when this board and stuff was like new, and they really went all out. All kind of fans, and man, this really, I think, was someone's baby. I mean, I guess it's too bad that the power supply must have died, or anyways. But yeah, look, this was like a high-end gaming PC rig when it came out. But yeah, we got, I think it's something like 24 gigabytes of DDR3. There's still room for more. Here's that water cooler that I don't trust water cooling in general. It's just me and my paranoia. But I don't know much about it, so that's why I'm not planning to overclock this. I'd rather just put a regular heat sink and fan on it, just because that's what I'm familiar with. So here we got, it's a Gigabyte GAX79 UP4, which I don't think was a slouch of a motherboard when it came out. So it supports 4-way SLI and Crossfire. This was this was somebody was proud of this machine. So here's the card I added, the GTX 960 for the Win Edition, and Jeez. Oh yeah, that weird power supply is the bottom and the front, and here's that power supply that I bought and installed it, and it works. So yeah, this, I mean, man, this could probably replace my main PC, to be honest, especially if I don't think, I looked, it's not the fastest 211 i7. I actually think it's the slowest of that series, so, but those prices on those CPs are still a little bit higher than I would care to pay, but eventually I might make this my main PC. So anyways, let's just plug it in and see if it still runs. Oh yeah, and the hard drive. This, I mean, literally, I just threw this hard drive in there. It's just a little 120 gigabytes solid state, SATA 3. It's not a bad hard drive, but yeah, I just kind of had this sitting around, and I just threw it in there to have a hard drive in there. So I think I installed an OS. So let's boot it up and see. All right, so I've got it hooked up. We're using the old Trinitron CRT, not period correct, but it should work fine. I have a DVI, if you can see back here, it's pretty dark, DVI to VGA adapter, more heresy. I just needed a USB mouse that was close by, an Apple Pro mouse, and then keyboard, and there's the power. It's like hooked in down here, and then it like goes, there's like something that wires it to the front. It's kind of weird. So like I said, I haven't powered this on for months, so theoretically it should power on fine, but it's a computer, so who knows. One of these, it's not that one. There we go. So there we go. Yay, okay. We're gonna go into the BIOS. Maybe they do still call it a BIOS. I thought they changed what they call the BIOS now. It's like called something different. So, okay, well, I'll get back once we're actually in this thing. Alright, well, it took a second to boot up, but it did boot up, and I have Windows 7 Ultimate that I installed on it. But anyways, yeah, here we go. It's a processor. It's the i7-3820 at 3.6 gigahertz. 3.80 gigahertz, I don't know why there's two there. Maybe one's at like its max speed, or I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I think it's that lowest of that generation. But still, it's upgradable. 24 gigabytes of DDR3, which is pretty nice. That's more than my main PC. I think has 18 gigabytes. Personally, I still think it's overkill for normal usage these days. But hey, the more the merrier. I mean, that alone is worth way more than $5. I mean, I know DDR3 isn't the hottest thing anymore, but still. So yeah, that's the machine. So yeah, it works. If I stop being lazy, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll just learn to trust the water cooling, but I don't know what that thing's been through. I'd at least have to take it out and put new water in it or whatever. I don't know. I don't have any experience with water coolers. They make me nervous, even though I'm sure they're fine pieces of technology and I know they cool better, but I don't care about overclocking, so I'd rather just get a socket 211 heat sink and fan. But I'm pretty cheap, and this is a low priority. I'd rather spend my money on something 20 years old. But anyways, yeah, so it's pretty cool. So I guess we will go to a channel update now, and I'll just tell you a couple things that are in store. Alright, so I'll just slowly look around at some stuff for something to look at. I still need to do a review of this Apple II, but I'd like to get an actual Apple monitor. But anyways, brief channel update. So anyways, the kind of long-awaited anatomy of an 8088. I'm almost ready to write the blog entry on that and do the video on it. It took me a while because there were some parts that I really wanted to have in that machine, which is actually right there, that I finally acquired and installed, and it took me a while to find them at all, let alone at a price that's acceptable. There's still one more part I'd like to put in this. but it's not necessary at all, especially for me. So, you know, that's coming soon. I know some people actually really like the Anatomy of series, and that's actually what kind of gave me my initial idea for starting the blog and then eventually this channel. So that one's coming, and then once we do that, we're gonna move ahead again, and we're gonna start with, instead of like processors, we're gonna talk about I'm gonna look at eras with like operating systems. So down there I have my Windows 95 machine, and then I have a couple Windows 98 machines, and then a couple Windows XP machines. So that will be an interesting series for the Anatomy of. Let's see what else. We are very slowly limping to 1,000 subs. It's been, what, 2 years, maybe a little more than 2 years. Finally, I know some people get 1,000 subs in like a couple weeks. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm happy. I mean, 1,000 subs is 1,000 subs. It took me 2 years and something, but still. Thank you everyone for watching and subscribing. I super appreciate it. Even I'm not making anything from these videos, but it's cool. It's cool to have people talk in the comments and interact, and I love answering questions and hearing your stories, and so it's so far it's been a pretty positive experience. What else? I might do a video on my 486. That's the MIDI thing. It's just acting so freaking weird, and I might just do a video on that. Surround sound stuff. I've started venturing into old surround sound. I just got a receiver and messing with surround sound with laser discs. That's a rabbit hole. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, that's in store. We got a PAL Amiga 600. I really want to do a video on eventually, but again, there's still stuff I want to do with it before I do like a review and a video on it and whatnot. So I mean, that's it. I really just wanted to let you guys know that the 808 video is coming. Oh, one more big thing. I'm possibly starting a new series. It's a way, I kind of thought this up as a way to play some games I wanted to play and to connect with some friends back home 2,000 plus miles away. And basically, I think I'm going to be calling it Adventure Game Time. And what we did, we playing adventure, point and click adventure games, text adventure, whatever, old school adventure games. We aren't using cheats or the internet. We can kind of help each other, but we play the game. We spend like a month or so playing the game without using the internet or anything, see how far we can get, and then we kind of do a podcast, but it's not really a podcast because it's going to be on YouTube, so it's like a vlog, and it's not really a review, but we just talk about our experience. We've done the first like kind of pilot episode. I'd really love to put it up for you guys to give feedback so we can improve it, but my friend on the other end, the computer science major, is having trouble figuring out a way to send a 57 megabyte file to my computer. So hey, if anyone knows a free, easy to use file transfer service, let me know in the comments so I could pass that along to him. Else he's gonna stick it on a flash drive and mail it to me or something. But anyways, that's something that I'm kind of excited about. I get the feeling it's probably not going to go over well, but I'm still excited to do it. It lets me spend time with my buddies back home. So I hope maybe you guys enjoy it. Anyways, but yeah, that's it. So that's the channel update, and that's the $5 i7. And again, thank you guys for watching. I've got an interesting video coming next week. If you want to know what it is, go to the blog, because it's the last blog entry. The next video is going to be on that machine. So again, if you like this stuff, subscribe. Thank you all again.